Former Move House. It was May 13th, 1985, after a day-long standoff outside a home occupied by members of a radical back-to-nature group known as Move, where police, as you saw, dropped an explosive device from a chopper onto that row home.
Why you gotta hurt them? There's kids in there. You tell my children in there all day, all night. Why you gotta hurt the kids? Think about the children. Think about the children.
Industry, is this your home, a blazing smokestack belching up your prized possessions, neighborhood, or free fire zone?
On Monday, May 13th, 1985, nearly 500 police officers, along with Philadelphia, Pennsylvania city manager Leo Brooks, arrived in force and attempted to clear the pro-black group Move out of their building and execute arrest warrants. Nearby houses were evacuated. Water and electricity were shut off in order to force Move members out of the house. Commissioner Sambor read a long speech addressed to Move members that started with, quote, "Attention Move, this is America. You have to abide by the laws of the United States," unquote. When the Move members did not respond, the police decided to forcibly remove the 13 members from the house, which consisted of 7 adults and 6 children. There was an armed standoff with police, who lobbed tear gas canisters at the building. The Move members fired at them, and a 90-minute gunfight ensued, in which one officer was bruised in the back by gunfire. Police used more than 10,000 rounds of ammunition before Commissioner Sambor ordered that the compound be bombed. From a Pennsylvania State Police helicopter, Philadelphia Police Department Lieutenant Frank Powell proceeded to drop 2 one-pound bombs, which the police referred to as entry devices, made of FBI-supplied Tovex, a dynamite substitute targeting a cubicle on the roof of the house. The ensuing fire killed 11 of the people in the house: John Africa, 5 other adults, and 5 children aged 7 to 13. The fire spread and eventually destroyed approximately 65 nearby houses on Osage Avenue in nearby Pine Street. Although firefighters had earlier drenched the building prior to the bombing, after the fire broke out, officials said they feared that Move would shoot at the firefighters, so held them back. Ramon Africa, one of the 2 Move survivors from the house, said that police fired at those trying to escape.
We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the 4 corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, this is yet another installment of our camps series called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob. The video you just saw and the image you see on the screen, we're talking about the Move bombing, May 13th, 1985, where once again, a faction of the U.S. government, moved on Jake, no pun intended, just because they didn't like that. What it basically boiled down to them is because they were protesting, the unfairness in Philadelphia. Okay, we're going to get into this article. This article comes from blackpast.org, and we also have a supplementary article from Wikipedia that touches on some things that this article didn't cover. So to start off our series, the opening scripture is Obadiah 1:10, and it reads, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." And what this is talking about, that the person who's perpetrated the violence forever is Esau Edom, going all the way back to Genesis 27 and 41, where he said in his heart, he was going to slay his brother Jacob. And Jacob, being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, he has brought hell on us, the whole time. Even exiting Egypt, it was Amalek, who is the chief nation of Esau Edom, who are your Jewish people today, despite Benjamin Milkowski or Benjamin not a Jew, trying to say that Amalek is the Palestinians today. That is a outright lie, okay? Because as the scriptures say, Edom would be ruling in the last days, according to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, okay? and Esau wouldn't let us pass by. We were going pass through their land when we were exiting Egypt, trying to get into the Promised Land. Okay, so they've been putting hell on the Israelites for the longest. All right.
A quick precept.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart that the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
God. So yeah, that was that promise to himself from the very beginning. Because of that birthright. And that was given in the spirit realm long before those two even came out of the womb. Okay, but he actually sold his birthright. You go towards the end of Genesis 25. All right. So, and like I said, in that Obadiah 1:10, it says, "Shame shall cover thee," and that's what it talks about. Somebody want to get that Habakkuk talk about his shameful spewing. I think it's Habakkuk 2:12.
Yep. It's Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 16. Says thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
You know that.
Because at the end of the day, Esau Edom's sins, all his wickedness and all his dirt is being put out in the forefront. So at one time, Esau was glorying in all the things he did against the children of Israel. But now we're at a point in time where ultimately Esau's shame is being seen. And first and foremost, the Israelites are calling it out. The men of the Lord are calling out his wickedness and shame is being put upon him. Okay, but ultimately, you also got people on a lower level. All right, people outside of the prophets. Whistleblowers, people with working class, so on and so forth. They're also coming out against Esau Edom. Okay, the so-called white man, and putting shame on him, man, for the things he's done in the past.
Yeah, precept for you. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not.
Because at the end of the day, man, we in a time where Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is being exposed for everything he's done. Specifically and mainly to the children of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, but also he's being exposed for all the wickedness that he has exercised in the earth, man. And also we understand that the Lord Yahweh Basham Yashai is doing all this, are exposing the so-called white man for all his transgressions, all his wickedness, before he brings about it into his kingdom.
And you mentioned those whistleblowers. A lot of those whistleblowers are his own people.
Got you.
The tongues fall on themselves.
Yep. It's the book of what are you going to say more?
No, that's just.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
And what he's saying, so that they make their own tongue. So you got Edom versus Edom, Egypt versus Egypt, brother against brother, according to Psalms, not Psalms, Isaiah 19:2. All right, and they're starting to tell on each other. That's what the Lord says. He will set variance, amongst family members, roughly paraphrasing, relatives, and that's what's happening with Esau Edom. All right, they're starting to tongue because a lot of them are realizing that they've screwed them over, made a fool out of them, and screwed them over as bad as Jake. That's why a lot of Jake is not buying into it anymore. We know what you did to us. Now they realizing they're doing it to them. It's too late. They don't care about you either. They greedy. You got something else?
I got some. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just while he's looking for that, we're showing you that shame is covering them. And they want to gaslight Jake. Oh, that was so long ago. Forget about that. I didn't have anything to do with that. No, you are your ancestors, and we get into that a lot.
Got it.
All right. So it says, and thou shalt be cut off forever, and that's what's going to happen. Once we come into power, you're going to go into slavery, serving twice as long and twice as hard as we did in righteousness. And then after that, you're going to be done away with for forever, according to Obadiah 1 and 18 in this same chapter.
Precept.
Go ahead.
Something that you mentioned. It says Ecclesiastes or Sirach chapter 14 verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He says, he that is evil to himself, to whom he good. So if he's screwing over his own nation of people, you know, they actually call them the Goyim. They really think there's something above the nation that they came out of, you know. That's like, you know, well, Amalek is the grandson of Esau, Edom, but it's like him directly going against his grandfather, and Esau is part of his begetting. All right, so it's just like that, but it's not going to happen that way. He says he will not take pleasure in his good. He's not happy with anything. You know, he has the fatness of the land. As the scriptures say, you know, the earth is you know, it has been given into the hand of the wicked, and we know him to be the wicked according to Malachi 1 and 4. All right, but it's been given in his hand, and he's not satisfied with nothing. You know, he's continually destroying the earth. He wants control of it, but destroying it all in the same process. You know, as the scriptures say in Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people mourn. All right, and that's just what it is. All right, so if anybody don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and get into the article. Okay, this is the article called "The Move Bombing of 1985," and once again, this comes from the website blackpaths.org. This will be the focal point of the lesson, and then we also will put this in the description box, as well as the link to the Wikipedia link. All right. So let's go ahead and with the article. It says the MOVE organization was founded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1972 by John Africa. When members greeted each other, they would say, "On the move." The MOVE organization spoke about racial and environmental injustice on the streets, corners, and protested in front of numerous organizations throughout the city of Philadelphia. During these protests, members were often arrested and jailed. In March of 1976, while 7 MOVE members were returning home from jail, police were called to their residence, claiming they were responding to a disturbance of peace complaint. A scuffle ensued, and while MOVE member Janine was trying to protect her husband Phil from being beaten by police, she was grabbed and thrown to the ground while clutching her 3-week-old baby, Life Africa, in her arms. Janine was stomped by the police until she was nearly unconscious, and baby Life was crushed to death. No officer was ever charged with any crime. And that goes right into Psalm 73 and 5, you know. So somebody want to grab that?
Yep.
I got it.
Okay.
This is Psalm chapter 73, verse 5. It says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men."
So, yeah, that's the thing, you know. They went among them, creating havoc, you know, killed a baby, and, you know, was never charged. Once again, Jake's life means nothing to Esau Edom, you know, because he's the sword of the Lord. You got something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. It says, actually, verse 4 says, "Thus said the Lord, Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell themselves say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not."
And that's the thing, you know, they hold themselves not guilty for slaying Jake, you know, and you know that's like their own shepherds pitying them not. You know, a lot of these people that were on those councils, like today in Congress, you know, they sell Jake out. You know, I'm seeing a lot of these videos on TikTok where Jake is finding out that it is our own people voting against things like reparations and stuff like that. So that's what it says. You know, they're shepherds pitting them not. Our own people are selling us out for that bag with Esau Edom. You know. All right. Back to the article. Move members reorganized and moved to 6221 Osage Avenue in 1981. The house was a fortress fortified with bunkers inside and on the roof. They continued to stage protests and broadcast their messages day and night by bullhorn from the rooftop bunker. Numerous complaints of disturbance of peace, unsafe living conditions, and child endangerment were filed against Move from neighbors and federal agencies. Several previous attempts at removal were met with violence by Move members. The city subsequently cut off water and power to the home and stopped picking up their trash, heightened tensions with the organization. So the thing is, you know, they filed this stuff. Did they really have any evidence?
Yep,
We'll never know.
Got a word for you.
Go ahead.
Propaganda. It says information, especially of a bias or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or viewpoint. All right. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. When you go back over the 60 plus videos we've already done in this series, we found out it's the same playbook. All it takes is for a Edomite or so-called white person to say something, and you know it results pretty much in Jake's imprisonment and or death. Okay.
Yep, and the reason we bring out that propaganda is that, again, like he said, it's the initial thing that Esau puts out before they actually starts to take action or react. You know, there's that thing, you know, when we always say order ab chaos, it's like order out of chaos. So they pretty much create an issue, you know, a chaotic situation. So for these particular people who moved into this neighborhood, they started to say, that it was a lot of trash, that they were throwing feces out the window, that they were yelling on bullhorns and disturbing and having fights with the neighbors. Also, when if you had any of these Move members that lived near you, it was taking down the property value. So then you had, with all of that being pushed within the community, within their community, you had now the community like rising up against the people or having the the popular opinion. You know, so now they get the popular opinion. So now they will feel justified in the actions that they put forth, which we'll read on.
Con.
Now, I'm not saying that they didn't do any of those things,
right?
You know, but you know, a lot of it was a big push so that they can make the play that we're going to read about.
Right, and you know, yeah, and just like you said, like you said, they didn't. It's not to say that they didn't do anything, but here again, like I said, 60 plus videos in, this is the first time we have to question that, because it always said that they did something, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, we can say here too, you know, hey, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck, you know. So they always the culprit, no matter what. They have a hand in it. All right. Getting back to the article, it says on May 13, 1985, city officials sent police to serve arrest warrants with orders to carry out by extreme force. Okay. Nearby local residents were told to evacuate, but could return to their homes the following day. Nearly 500 SWAT officers in SWAT gear, backed by heavy artillery and anti-tank machine gun, surrounded the block. A shot fired from inside the Move residence was met by a volley of over 10,000 rounds in 90 minutes, all shot into the home. You want to get that word volley, V-O-L-L-E-Y? And see, that's the thing, you know, here again, they said a shot fired from inside the Move home. Is that really true? You know, one shot, and it took 90 minutes of 10,000 rounds to be fired into that home. A shot. Come on now.
You got it? Or
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It says barrage. It says a number of bullets arrows or other projectiles discharged at one time. And, that's pretty much it.
So pretty much, that shot could have very well been staged, just for them to have a reason to do that. One shot resulted in that. You know. All right.
Yeah, and I have another one. Says a burst of simultaneous, and immediate sequential nerve. So it's like a simultaneous. So the one shot happened, and then boom. It was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
And then you have so of course in some point they had to be like completely surrounded, and like you said, it seemed like
Yeah.
it was ready. They
Yeah.
were ready.
Well, like I said, they told the residents to evacuate and return the next day. They had already surrounded the whole block. So it's like it's staged. You know, when y'all hear the shot, let loose.
Yeah.
Let loose. All right. All right. Continuing with the article, it says 5 fire trucks pumped gallons of water through the basement, and tear gas was thrown into the windows of the home. SWAT teams tried to blast holes in the walls of adjoining houses to gain entry. MOVE members hid in the basement of the home, holding children in the air to avoid drowning in rising water. The all-day standoff led to the city dropping a C-4 bomb on the rooftop of the home. The bunker did not fall, but the roof of the home was engulfed in flames, which is what you're seeing on the screen here. All right. It says.
So I can read that one more time.
It says the all-day standoff led to the city dropping a C-4 bomb on the rooftop of the home. Okay. It says the bunker did not fall, but the roof of the home was engulfed in flames. And here again, that's the pictures you see on the screen here. All right. It says 65 homes were destroyed and over 200 residents lost their homes. Continuing on, 11 MOVE members, including John Africa, and 5 children were killed. 1 adult, Ramona, and 1 child, Birdie, 13, survived the bombing but were severely burned. Ramona was convicted of conspiracy and jailed for 7 years. That's the lady you saw in the opening of clip from this. Okay. She later sued the city and was awarded $1.5 million, a $1.5 million settlement in 1996. All right. And it says 7 articles, books, and 2 documentaries, The Bombing of Osage Avenue, 1986, and Let the Fire Burn, 2013, have been produced about the incident. In 2017, a historical marker was erected on the corner of Osage and Cobbs Creek Parkway by the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. Plans for redevelopment by city officials and private companies have failed, and the destroyed homes remain boarded up to this day. All right. There was also another interesting thing about this. What they did, they actually kept the bones of some of the people that passed away, and this is covered in the Wikipedia link that we put into. And you know, the thing is, just like when we read in Tobit, you know, we're supposed to have a proper burial as Israelites. Why are they keeping our bones? They always did this to us, you know, even with Nat Turner, you know, turned him into furniture and oil, and, you know, did a whole bunch of stuff with his body because he was able to take out Esau Edom, you know.
When they did the pick a nick,
Yep.
you know, they would carve off parts, body parts, for
Souvenirs.
souvenirs.
Yeah. Yep.
Send in postcards, other things that they've done.
Yep. Yep. And a lot of that is captured in the book called Without Sanctuary. They've since reduced the price of that book. You know, it was going for like $700. Now you can get it for like $50. But it pretty much documented a lot of the lynchings, and hangings, and mutilations that occurred post the Civil War. Okay, and there's also another book that has a bunch of articles in it. Says 100 years of lynching that they did to Jake, and they did horrible things to the bodies. You know.
Precept.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse, which you actually back there. verse 6. It says, Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment. Yep. So just like, because they're not in trouble, you know, they don't receive the punishment, because the lady in the beginning of the video, you know, she made a mention that there was not one officer or anyone that was persecuted or charged for anything that was done. However, at the end, it talks about that after further review, that that the police department of Philadelphia was charged with excessive force. And so it's like, and so because, you know, they're not receiving charges, you know, it's like everything about them, you know, they wear it upon them like pride, the type of atrocities that they do, and because they set their own laws, you know, and their own unrighteous decrees, they actually push things that allow them to further provoke and push violence within the communities in the cities. And actually, you can see it. That's the vibration of Esau Edom in the whole entire earth.
Yep. Yeah, just to give more clarity, that part about them keeping their remains is, if you go to the main article in a Wikipedia link and scroll down to the bottom, it's titled "Use of Human Remains from the Bombings," and they were kept at the University of Pennsylvania Museum in Archaeology and Anthropology. Okay, and you know, the present day members are still shocked about this. You know, you blow us up, and now you won't let you using us for your own benefit, and really won't let us die. You know, kind of reminds me of that line that Superman gave Batman in the Justice League. He told him, "You won't let me live, you won't let me die." Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. You know, they make a mockery of us even in death. All right.
Yeah, because I got this precept going back into, you know, the officers, you know, not being charged with their evil against the move individuals. But this is just going into everything y'all was saying. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in to do evil. You know, ultimately, these devils, Esau, Edom, so-called white men, have exercised nothing but evil and wickedness against Jake.
Yep.
You know, like the scriptures say, they are not plagued as other men, so they can kill, all right, Israelites, you know, whether they be old or young, man or woman. Okay, they could kill Israelite children, Israelite babies, and still get off scot-free. Okay, but one thing to understand is that even though on a surface level it looks like they're getting off scot-free, the Lord Yahweh Bashkim Yashai is recording everything that they're doing, man, and is preparing a judgment for them.
Yep.
But because judgment is not falling upon them speedily, they're going to be enticed to do more wickedness, man.
Yep.
Got a quick one for you.
Yeah, I got one too.
Probably the same one. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. It says, the Lord have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Yeah. So just like he's saying, is that their pride, and they think that they're not going to get away with it, but the Lord has preserved them for better and greater judgment. And it's going to be by his hands, the hands of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is going to send forth Yahweh Shai to bring forth an ultimate destruction unto a kingdom that's been comprised of great pride. Okay, and the Lord hates a prideful man, and Esau is the most proud.
You got something to say?
Yeah, when if you got more on that, go ahead.
Going back to Ecclesiastes 8 and 12, it says, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with him that fear the Most High, which fear before him. You see, because ultimately it may look like, you know, those who do evil, you know, in this case, we talk about Esau, even so-called white men. Okay, it may seem like those who do evil, their days are being prolonged, but really we understand that the Lord is just building up their tab and preparing, and once again preparing to bring, you know, a great judgment upon them. Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High. So at the end of the day, man, these individuals, man, their days are numbered. Okay, and they're not gonna go past a minute, a second, or an hour in which the Lord has set these individuals up to rule, man.
Con.
They're going to go into captivity in their appointed time. Okay, this kingdom is going to be destroyed in its appointed time, and ultimately, in their appointed time, the nation of Esau, Edom, is going to be completely wiped out, man.
Yeah, I got that. Real quick. It's the book of Job, chapter 14, verse
God.
5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So every kingdom, every rulership, if you look in ancient times, the mighty kingdoms from the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, all the way down into present time America, you see that all these great kingdoms have had a time to rule and a time that they have ended. And Daniel prophesied that that there would be this great kingdom that will fall by the hand of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And after that, of course, the saints, being the Israelites, would take over the kingdom. They would take the kingdom and they would rule with Yahushai forever, even forever. So this kingdom, has its appointed time, but it's only by, no man knows the day and no man knows that hour but Yahweh, and when he sent forth his son.
God, and just to your point, that's going into the nations, and he also does that with individuals. Like I said, the scriptures say he kills, he makes alive. None can deliver out of his hand, according to Deuteronomy 32 and 39. But the thing is, and that you mentioned the nations. I'm talking about individuals. That proves Job 34 and 29. Where the Lord says that he will judge a nation or he'll judge a man.
Yeah, let's get it for real.
Okay.
34 verse 29. This is Job 34 verse 29. It says, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only.
So that's the thing. When he makes up, we'll put it like this: the end has been declared from the beginning. So, as 2nd Ezra 4 and 37, is nothing. Everything has to happen in the order that he sanctioned it. Roughly paraphrase. You want to grab that too?
What's that?
2nd Ezra 4 and 37. But the thing is, he once the Lord declares something, it is what it is. Like I said, when he makes quiet, who can make trouble? There won't be any. When he hides himself, who can look upon him? Who can find him? Nobody.
Yeah. And to your point, just to bring it all around, the movement was not it wasn't in the time of the Lord.
Right.
All right. For one, from what I looked, they weren't pushing anything pertaining to the laws, the statutes, commandments, bringing people back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And so it's one of those things where I always come up to mind in Acts when these movements come about. It's if it be not of the Most High, let them alone. Because if it be not of the Most High, it's not going to stand.
Right.
But if it be of the Most High, it will fall. Roughly if it be of the Most High, it will not fall, and there's nothing you can do against it.
Right.
Roughly paraphrasing. So that's the thing. They had this movement, but it wasn't in the spirit of Yahweh, fully in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Though there might have been some elements, of it, but that's mainly why it fell. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai was the reason of it. Like I said, everything is not done. A sparrow doesn't hit the ground without the Lord knowing of it.
Right, and heck, it wasn't of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Look at the names. They renamed themselves Africa. Africa is was conquered by Leo Scipio Africanus, an Edomite. An Edomite, the nation of the people that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hates. Okay. They didn't know that. So here again, like you said, it couldn't have been. We know it wasn't in the spirit because it fell. All right. But you got that 2nd Ezra.
I got it.
Okay.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 4 verse 37. It says, "By measure hath he numbered the times, and by number." by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them till the said measure be fulfilled.
So with that, going back to, he has bounds that he cannot pass. He had us a certain allotted amount of time to rule. Okay, and then, like I said, he declared the end from the beginning. Everything that he set up before the foundation of the world is going to happen just as he planned it. All right, point blank period. There's no way around that. All right.
God.
So we coming into that, but the point what I want to get to when you was talking about the judgment, even if these cops, we know that the wicked is reserved until the day of destruction, and then shall be brought forth in the day of wrath, according to Job 21 and 30. This is 2 Ezra 14 and 35. It says, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again." Okay, so even if you were not judged, in that generation that you were in, it's going to come back. You're going to receive judgment for that. That's also proven in Revelations 1 and 7. Those who pierced him are going to see him. So they're coming back for judgment too. Talking about those Romans, that put Yahweh to death. All right. Back in 2 Ezra 14 and 35, it says, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest or made known, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." You coming back for that judgment. All right. And it's not going to be good for Esau Edom.
Read that last part.
He says,
works.
Yeah, he says, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
And we're declaring it right now as well. The prophets. Well, we started up for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, and the shame, because this is a land that has been put exalted on high as a golden city, and now you see that currently, through all the things that they have done, to receive this great gold standard, okay, and you see that it was off of violence, rape, robbery, and murder, and that is why this nation is languishing, why it's waning, why you see many of the diseases, the violence that's going on all around, is because it's in the hand of a wicked enemy of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the most wicked, lawless enemy. Okay, and that's why you see that the commandments aren't being pushed within this system. So you see adultery at an all-time high. You see stealing, you see graping, you see fornication, you see apostasies, men coming up against the doctrine, the true doctrine that they were taught before, and changing things up. So there's a lot that's going on all at once, but it's because we're at that end, that appointed time, and we see, the prophets see the things that are happening, and the Lord, through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, He's opened their eyes to go out and teach these things. So hopefully, those who come across this can really gain the true understanding of what's going on and what time that we're in.
Yeah, that is so true. Like it says, the sins have reached the heavens, and now he's not going to turn back. He's not going to turn back that judgment, even though that they're trying to put the commandments in the schools again, and it's just not going to work, because once again, just like we're telling you now, the law, statutes, and commandments don't belong to everybody. It does not. It only belongs to the Israelites, and right now on this side, the elect, because we're the only ones, and I say we're because we're part of that number, doing our very best to do our due diligence to make the calling of our election sure, and by having the faith, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability.
Gotcha. Right? Something you may mention of, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Yeah, so you Edomite leaders that are trying to force the 10 Commandments back into the schools, you know, it's futile. Because for number one, they never belong there, you know. It's the father's supposed to teach his sons and his sons' and the woman's supposed to learn from her husband who was at home. So they never belong in your institutions, okay? Because those, institutions, shoot, for pretty much are founded in blood. Look at all these schools. They named after people that had slaves, you know, as property. You did horrible things to Jake. All right? So they don't belong there. All right? They only belong with the elect of the nation of Israel right now. All right? So we'll close out with this. This is Ezekiel 35, 5, and 6, because you're going to have to pay for what you did, Esau, because of things like this. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5 and 6. He says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, and the time of their calamity, and the time when their iniquity had an end. And that perpetual hatred means continual, non-stop. Okay? By the force of the sword, we know this is you, for one, because it talks about Mount Seir. That was your original homeland at the beginning of this chapter. Okay? And that was your blessing. Okay? And we know, according to Psalm 17:13, that the wicked, Esau, Edom, according to Malachi 1 and 4, is the sword of the Lord. Okay? That's mentioned in Psalm 17:13. But it says, in the time when our calamity had an end, we come out of slavery. You still furthering the affliction, according to Zechariah 1 and 15. That's why it says the Lord is sore displeased with you. You're going to pay for that. Back in Ezekiel 35, verse 6, it says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh our power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So, that you're gonna, get what you put out. Revelations 13:10 says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He that led into captivity must go into captivity, roughly paraphrasing. This is the patience and faith of the saints. All right, and those saints are the Israelites. So, yeah, you're gonna pay for exactly what you did in righteousness, and you're gonna pay double. Okay, all right, according to Revelations 18, 5 and 6. All right. So with that, we hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
All right, Shalom. Like I said, the link for these two articles will be in the description box. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.